I don't ever want to shame anybody for having a party. I should feel the worst. Hello, I started this. Like, if there's anybody who can say, hey, they're not cool anymore, like, it's me. Parties have really evolved into something that I never foresaw happening. I don't think anybody could have. They've really become dangerous. They've started to involve explosives, alligators, huge spectacles for people to unveil if their baby is a boy or a girl. I had a blog since the early 2000s. By 2008, I had quite a following on my blog. So when I had my first, they call them gender reveal parties now, but that's not what I called it. When I had my first party with the cake, with the icing and the pink, saying that we were having a girl, I did that for my own benefit, and I had about 10 people at my party. I put the pictures on my blog afterwards, and the story was actually picked up by a magazine called The Bump. That magazine wound up being the magazine that was distributed for free to the OBGYN and midwives offices all throughout the Midwestern United States. So back in 2008, nobody scrolled their smartphones when they were waiting for their doctor's appointments. Mm-hmm. They picked up the magazine, they saw my party, and the idea just really spread from there. So there are problems with pyrotechnics and people taking it out of hand, but there are also social implications which affect every single party. And that is the erasure of transgender and non-binary people, which is a conversation was not happening in 2008. It just never crossed my mind because I'm privileged in that way. I was born a girl. I'm a woman. I've honestly never had to doubt my gender or my sexuality in my entire life. And so that's why it didn't occur to me. I thought you have a baby, it's a boy or a girl, as a lot of people still do think. And there's nothing wrong with holding a belief like that, as long as you're examining your beliefs and understanding that there are transgender and non-binary people. We need to recognize their existence. As I started to get into the 2010s, 2013 or so, I actually have all three daughters. So I was raising my daughters, and I started to have a problem with one of my daughters in particular. She wouldn't play with any toys unless they were pink. And she held this belief as a 2-year-old that if it wasn't pink, it wasn't for her. And it kind of opened my eyes to something. I was like, well, it's not that boys have the default all the colors and the only thing that the girl can have is pink, but somehow that message gets driven home. I believe it starts with a gender reveal party when it's like, oh, pink is for the girl. And if you're not pink, you're not a girl, or there's something wrong with you. To stay in that box. And that really is limiting for girls. One of my daughters wanted to, get the short haircut, and she wanted to wear suits and tuxedos, and she's the absolutely most adorable thing you've ever seen. She absolutely rocks her little style, and I support her in every way. But, I started to think, wow, those gender reveal parties are just so inaccurate, and they just are really harmful. I think the vast majority of people who are having these so-called gender reveal parties are doing them in complete innocence, but we still have to examine that there is this very strict binary that's being reinforced with the gender reveal parties. Absolutely have a cake. If you want to have a cake, have a cake. Have a cake on a Tuesday. Pop open a bottle of champagne for no reason at all. There's nothing wrong with celebrating all the moments in our life, big, small, no matter what it is. If you're having a baby and you're excited, you should absolutely celebrate that. I think the focus should just be off of the body parts. So maybe not have a cake about a penis.